Altcoins are pumping double digits. We have seen a lot of these coins really going up. People talking about an altcoin season. Bitcoin dominance has been really dropping down. So what does this mean? Does this mean we should sell all our Bitcoins, go into all these pump coins, this and much more? We're going to discuss in today's video. Hey and welcome. My name is Julian. On my channel, it's all about making you CryptoFit. In all these videos, I discuss the beautiful world of decentralization, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, much more. We talk about the macro, we talk about the micro. I try to put my head as the CEO of a 200 people group on Cake Group. We're a retail arm with Bake. We have an enterprise arm with Levain. We have a VC fund with Whisk. We have an R&D team with Bursty Research. On the one hand, I invest into this space personally for 9 years now. My good time flies. And I do a lot of work with regulators, with governments. Just now, actually, it was very recent. European Union, another department in there, contacted me, wants me to do a couple of webinars and a couple of seminars with them. So, yeah, I'll try to kind of juggle this stuff and kind of make sure this is all aligned. And obviously, last week, big topic. We do these weekly forecasts, and one thing that I think we hit last week pretty on spot on what's going to happen with inflation, what's going to happen with bank earnings. I mean, all of this, very spot on. The thing that obviously I think no one had expected was that the judge on the Ripple case actually, in my opinion, got it pretty accurate on is XRP a security during the actual sale, and the judge said yes, but it then doesn't become a security anymore, especially not on the secondary market. And that's something we discussed, I think, a month ago or 6 weeks ago when we did this video around Coinbase. And I explained the different functions in the US when it comes to an exchange and brokerage and clearing and settling. And when we talk about what a security actually is and how the Howey test actually works and how you could apply it to something like crypto tokens. And a lot of people in the industry actually say you cannot apply the Howey test to crypto tokens, and even though I'm not a lawyer, I still think you can. And the judge actually did, and in my opinion, the judge did this really well. Why is this? Well, quick summary, the Howey test from 1940 or something was selling oranges on a farm, but basically selling the profits of that. So it was not that you bought oranges, you bought the profits of all of that. And the Howey test became a 4-step thing, and if all 4 are a yes, then whatever this thing is very likely to be a security. So it is an investment of money into a common enterprise where you expect profits because of the work of others. So those 4 things. And if you actually buy XRP from Ripple, the company itself, then yes, you're investing with money. And what money is not so clearly defined. And a lot of people expect that pretty much a lot of things can be money. Probably money is anything that is reasonably liquid to be turned into actual fiat, right? So even if you say, oh, someone bought it with Bitcoin, so it's not money, it's not really true. Probably the price was not priced in Bitcoin, it was priced in dollars, and then it got converted into Bitcoin. So it was just a means of exchange was Bitcoin, but it was not the unit of account. The unit of account was dollars, and then it got easily changed into dollars, right? So what money is very flexible. So purchase of money into a common enterprise. I mean, you gave this to Ripple. Sure, you bought XRP from it, but at the end, you bought it from Ripple directly. And you wouldn't buy these things because you think, I'm going to need all those XRP. No, because you bought them at price X and you wanted it to go up, right? So, and you didn't want to do anything for that. You wanted others to do it. Just like in Howey, where, sure, he grew these oranges and he would sell them, but you didn't want to do this. You just wanted to buy part of the share and then make the prices go up. Now, the interesting question, right, and I had discussed this several times, does this make oranges a security? So does this make XRP a security? And if you watched that video 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, I said, in my opinion, it doesn't, but I also am not sure if a judge or a regulator actually understands that. And I was very doubtful. That's why I was always doubtful that the case of Ripple would partially, and I want to be very clear, partially be won by Ripple. In this case, the judge actually decided in the favor of Ripple. Now, to me, this is a humongous success for the crypto industry, really humongous. Ripple makes it sound like it was like a huge success for them. This I'm not 100% sure, because the key thing is obviously the issuers could still get sued. A lot of the ICO issuers and so on, I think they will. And also, the SEC will go and file an appeal, for sure. I think it's called the second court or something, so they will definitely file for an appeal. But this was the humongous thing, and with that, a lot of these altcoins, especially the altcoins that got slaughtered 6-8 weeks ago with Binance and Coinbase having deemed that they have been dealing with securities. So the Matic, Solana, Cardano, blah, 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 blah. All these coins rallied 20-30%, which were all these things that they dropped back then. XRP obviously rallied the most, and at the end, it made the Bitcoin dominance really drop, and because these coins rallied so much. Now, coins that were very unlikely to ever be seen as security, so Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, DeFi chain, they did okay. They didn't go up much, they didn't go down much, just because it actually didn't impact them at all, right? And so a lot of people then were like, oh, this rally is like totally crazy. And I actually said, you know what? I think this rally makes a lot of sense. It really did. Because if you look specifically, the coins that weren't impacted by that didn't do much, and the coins that were impacted simply corrected to what they lost from before. So I am super like reflecting on this. I'm like, hey, actually the market was pretty rational about it. Quite interesting. And obviously now the question going forward, right, for this week is, are we gonna see any kind of pushback from the SEC? Is there gonna be an appeal right away? Is there going to be further comments, right? Is maybe the Coinbase case going to take way shorter now, because especially the Coinbase case is the most impacted by that. Binance, not at all, because Binance has so many allegations around everything else, right? But the Coinbase case could be basically over with that. The Coinbase case could really be over in the sense that, hey, the court is very clear, so you got nothing else on us, so done, okay? So that could be interesting. So obviously a big impact. On the Binance side, on the other hand, right, massive stuff right now. A lot of people leaving, a lot of people being fired, like a lot of question marks. And I don't know, for some reason, everyone kind of just sits there and says, this thing could blow up anytime. So I think that's a bit of the scary part in all this, right? And obviously, what are the consequences in this? So very interesting to kind of see this. Then we see suddenly $300 million worth of government Bitcoin from Silk Road being moved around. And now people are like, hey, what's going to happen to those? And so quite an interesting kind of mix that is going on. And all the kind of news now around the Bitcoin spot ETF kind of going down a bit. So yeah, now we're back to like this, obviously the altcoins that benefited from that regulation, they kind of pumped. But what do they have now, right? The people investing in those coins that weren't affected by this are like, on the one hand, and this is really disappointing, on the one hand, really kind of shitting on that SEC, on that judge's regulation. And I don't understand that, because at the end it was a huge win for the crypto world. Yeah, probably your coin didn't benefit from this, but the industry did. And I always think it's so sad how so much jealousy is in there. I honestly didn't invest in a single coin that benefited from this. I didn't, and I'm super happy for the industry because of that. So I really can't understand this jealousy. I mean, I do, because a lot of these coins have nothing that they can do other than hope that someone else tears down the other towers, right? Because they can't do it. So some of these communities, I mean, they cannot do anything. They just sit there. They cannot build on themselves. They're not doing anything. They can just hope the others get teared down. So I get where this is coming from. So, and I think that's a bit of the status right now in crypto, right? So everyone's kind of waiting a bit. It's typical summer kind of thing. And suddenly these things pop up that are a bit unexpected. And I'm sadly expecting this stuff similar to go on, to the up and to the downside. I mean, this SEC stuff was to the upside. And I think that's what we're gonna keep seeing right now. So relatively little to expect, and then bam, and so on. So that's crypto. On the general economics, not much macro from the US. We're going to see some retail numbers, but it's not going to be all too exciting. UK is going to talk about inflation. There's going to be some numbers out of China. So relatively quiet week. I think two earnings are going to be especially interesting this week. Tesla, that's going to be massively interesting just because it's such a large company. And then on the other hand, Netflix. And the reason also, it's a large company and it gives us a strong sense in how these large tech companies are doing, right? Especially when we then talk about, the big ones, Apple, Google, Microsoft, and so on. How are they doing? So, yeah, I think IBM is reporting, Lockheed Martin, but I think it's a relatively okay week. Last week with banks, that was important just to see how that part is. Banks did fantastic. So yeah, last kind of week to kind of prepare, because the week after we're gonna have Fed meeting. Obviously, it's a Fed meeting. It's not gonna be a big of a deal in my opinion, because we're gonna see 25 basis points, but still, right? The market still wants to kind of see it. So yeah, let's get ready. Let me know what you think. Anything I'm missing? Anything you're watching? How did you see the Ripple case? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know. Hey, and if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel, give it an upvote, give it a like, and then I'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Yours truly, Julian. Bye.